Hey guys, anybody in? Let me know if you can hear me because I'm attempting to use headphones, but I don't know how this is going to work out for me. So let me know if you can hear me. I will wait for some people to get in. I don't see anybody here. As you come in, just let me know if I'm able to be heard because again, let's see. I don't think that these headphones are going to work. So if anybody could comment in the chat to say if you can or cannot hear me, it's much appreciated. Much appreciated. Hey Sabrina. Hey Miss April. Okay, okie dokie. Smokey. Hey Bear, my father. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, perfect. So you guys can hear me. So, hey, Marianne. Just got off work. Just wanted to do a really quick little live. Just wanted to talk to you guys for a quick sec if I can. I just wanted to say to you all, if nobody told you today, I'm proud of you for showing up for you. Proud of you for showing up for yourself. Proud of you for just doing what you need to do. Cause this thing called life, that should be lifing for real. Hey, Surrender. So I just wanted to talk about a little bit about, I guess, upbringing, if you will. So definitely not a licensed therapist. That's not my area of expertise. A person that has been through some things, and I can talk about things that I've been through without having the proper license to do so. Who is that? Layla Robinson. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. So let's see. So growing up, I know everybody has their own um, versions of what it was like for them up, especially depending on your age. Sometimes, different ages, of course, in different times, right? So, growing up, I had two-parent home. Of course, that's not much. It is a flex to some degree. I had my mom, had my dad, but that doesn't necessarily mean coming from a two-parent home that you're gonna become, what I'm saying, this responsible, this great person. Because there are some people that come from two parent homes, if you will, and they're fucked up. So, but I was very, very fortunate to have the parents that I was blessed with. My dad passed away in 1998 due to a massive heart attack. He passed away in my home. Um, I was leaving for work, um, and he was talking to me, looked a little bit strange or whatever. I don't know, just something just felt off. He asked me if I could wash his clothes when I come home. What? But okay, no worries. So I was babysitting. That was my job for one of my mom's best friends. So I was watching her two children at that time. That was my job. So I went there to my mom's friend's house because previously the night before I had been out drinking, socializing. So I was tired. So the kids were still asleep. I would come in, they would go to work, and I would lay down with the kids. Long story short, I must have been asleep about maybe, I don't know, I'm going to say like 15, 20 minutes. The phone rings. So it's my mom, and she's like screaming to the top of her lungs. I could barely understand what she's saying. But in the midst of her chaos, she was saying, I can't wake your father up. So my mom's best friend husband was still there. He wasn't going to work yet. So I'm just standing there. I'm like, I don't know. My mom's saying so. It's the phone from me. So whatever she told him, he drops the phone and gets the fuck out the house. Like he got out of there. So I'm trying to call and trying to figure out what the hell is she talking about because she hung up or whatever. So I called my grandfather and he's like, oh, just be calm, blah, blah, blah. So long story short, I don't want to drag this out, but long story short is my dad had a massive heart attack in the house. So when my mom wanted to say something to him, she went upstairs. He was sleeping upstairs, and she went upstairs to say something to him, and she couldn't wake him up or whatever. So he died very young, and that changed the whole dynamics of our life because just seeing someone maybe an hour previously, 45 minutes or so, and then getting a call later on that your father had passed away, had a massive heart attack, that really like put me in a different headspace, so you will. But growing up, my mom and dad taught me responsibility. They taught me accountability. My father always told me, your word is bond. If you tell someone something, you best do it. If you promise someone to do something, you need to follow through with the promise that you made because your word is your bond. Your word is everything that you have. So my dad was very much old school. My parents were strict. Like we couldn't do a lot of shit that other kids could do. You know what I'm saying? Then my friends would laugh at us because we had to sometimes stay on the porch and we couldn't do a lot of things. A lot of my friends had a lot of leeway, but none of my friends had a dad in the house. So the thing is, they would want me to sneak and do shit that they was doing because their mom wasn't paying attention. But the thing was, I had to come home to my father. Like, so I could get out there and be stupid if I wanted to, but I had to come home to my dad, and he didn't play that shit. So he wasn't into none of that stuff. He wasn't playing around. He wasn't none of that shit. We were never abused, but we were disciplined. You know what I'm saying? We were. I don't have an abuse story. I don't have any essay story. Like I said, I was blessed to have the parents that I was born to. Cause trust me, they weren't perfect. They made mistakes, but none of that other stuff that some people have, like the stories that they have, I don't have that story. But he always told me to always follow what I thought was right. Don't give in to peer pressure of other people because people will lead you down the road of destruction. They certainly will. So I say all of that to say my parents held us very much accountable for what we did. Accountability is very, very fucking important. As I teach my kids, accountability is everything. You can tell me what you did, but you have to be able to tell me what you learned from it and why you won't ever do it again moving forward, or we got a problem. So that's the only thing is that people that lack accountability live to repeat the same mistakes over and over and over. My mom is my living parent. She's my only living parent. Of course, my dad passed away. My mom, I got a call from her today. She's dealing with kidney failure. She was at stage 2. Currently, today, after doing some tests, I think a few days ago, they upgraded her to stage 3. She's now in stage 3 kidney failure with like a 40% kidney function, something of that nature. So now I'm dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, my mom is going to always hold me accountable, right? I have not always been the perfect parent to my children. I have made mistakes. I have did dumb shit that I should not have done. My mom is going to hold me accountable for everything I do. Because the first mistake when I that I make, she's going to say, Your responsibility is to take care of these kids because they did not ask to be fucking here. So all that other stuff you kicking, I don't want to hear none of that. Your responsibility is to take care of these kids, and you need to do what you gotta do. So it's many, many, many times I fall short of doing what I'm supposed to do. However, I am able to dust myself off. I'm able to cry. I don't care if my lights go off for 30 for a half a day. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I gather myself back together and I make it do what the fuck it do. I might cry. I might, I don't know. I ain't doing no $40 hollers, but I'm gonna do what the fuck I gotta do for my kids. Cause at the end of the day, they didn't ask to be here. My mom is not going to cut me any slack when it comes to her grandkids. If one of my kids call my mom and tell her, "Oh, we didn't get to take school pictures because she didn't have the money," my mom is going to call me and say, "You knew school pictures was a month ago. What the fuck you was doing with your money? The fuck you was doing with your money?" Children deserve to have the life that you never had. Even though I didn't grow up with a lot of chaos, my mom and dad, I'm sure they had issues, of course. Like, again, nobody's perfect. But we didn't have a household of chaos because whatever they went through, they went through on the side, and we didn't really know nothing about it. So that's just it. Hey, Aries for life. Hey, Tippy, Tippy, Tip. Hey, sis. Hey, Lawanda. Hey, sis Trina. Hey, y'all. So my mom is going to hold me accountable every fucking time. That doesn't mean she's not going to help me out of a situation, but she's going to let me know, yo, you fucked up and you can't keep doing this because you have children. They depend on you. If you were single with no kids, you do what you want to do. If you were a single person with no obligations, your obligation is to your kids. So, hook or crook, you better figure it out. When it comes to her grandkids, she does not play. And when it comes to me, she is going to tell me where I went wrong. She doesn't care if it hurts my feelings. My mom will curse me the fuck out. I will hang up on her because I will never disrespect her. She will call me 1 hour later and say, "Yeah, what's up, bitch? Like, what you eating tonight?" That's what it is. Like, that's what it is. My mom is going to tell me the real. She's not going to tell me what she thinks I want to hear. She's going to tell me that I fucked up and you need to fix this. If she can help me, she will. However, however, she's going to let me know that you fucked up. You are too old to be not taking care of your responsibility. These, because her thing is, these kids did not ask to be here. If you didn't want to have kids, you should have kept your legs closed and stopped popping and locking and dropping. That's her thing. You don't want to have kids. If you don't want to take care of kids, you shouldn't have them. Stop tooting your ass up in the air, doing stuff to get kids, and then don't want to take care of them. So I'm just saying, my mom has always been there for us. Always been there for us. It's not been a time where I could not call her and get something that I needed. However, she is going to let me the fuck have it. She is going to let me know that I fucked up, and she is going to let me know that she is not going to continue to bail me out. So that's why I had to get on my grind. I have to do what I have to do for my kids. Even if it becomes uncomfortable, even if it's something that I didn't want, I don't want to work past my time. I don't want to work on the weekend and pick up if I have to do that, I am going to do what I have to do for my kids because they deserve a life of joy, of happiness, or whatever. They didn't ask to be here, so it's my responsibility to take care of my kids and not do stupid shit that's going to keep me away from them or keep me not being able to do for them. It's like I had to do a lot of growing up. I had to do a lot of soul searching, and guess what? I'm still not all the way grown. There's times where I make mistakes and do dumb shit, but I try not to let what I do affect my children. When I start doing things that are going to affect my children, that's where I fuck up. That's where my mom comes in. And again, my mom ain't nothing but 5'1". I'm gonna say, I don't know how much she weighs. She's a little chubby side, but she would get up on a chair if she had to and knock me the fuck out about one of her kids if she had to stand up on a fucking chair. Cause she two-pieced me plenty of times back in the day on her tippy toes. On her fucking toes, she two-pieced me one time and knocked me the fuck out. Ain't no Jackie Christie from Basketball Bar. She knocked me the fuck out on her tippy toes for getting smart with her. For looking like she thought I was gonna hit her back in the day, which I never was, but she two-pieced me real good. And my father was like, yeah, that's what you get, that's what you get, that's what you get. So I didn't come from all of that. But my parents never let me do a lot of things, and I always used to sit back and say, this is crazy. They don't let me do nothing. My dad used to say, it's gonna come a time where your friends that were able to do everything, they're gonna be dead or in jail. So you better just remember that we're saying and doing what we're doing for you, not to shield, not to be able for you not to have a life. We just don't want you going down the wrong path. And that's basically like, it's like having kids is mad. Having kids is like you have to be mentally equipped to take care of kids. You have to be mentally equipped to be able to stay grounded and do what you need to do for your children. So it's like no one's perfect. No one is going to get it right every time. However, you don't put yourself in a position to have something that you did affect your kids in the long run. Kids that didn't ask to be here. So that's all I'm saying. I have had to heal from a lot of different things. But the one thing that I try to carry and keep with me is that my parents did what they could for me. They did the best they could for me, and I try to instill what they instilled in me into my children. Does it always work? Nah, it doesn't always work. But I try to be the example that my parents were to me, to my children. And it's like, I don't know, like accountability goes a long way. Because again, my mom loves me to death, but she's not going to pussyfoot. She's not going to mama special baby me when it comes to her grandkids or when it comes to things that I should know better, right? She's gonna tell me, you know that shit was wrong. You know what you did was stupid. You know, blah, blah, blah. You know all that. You know better, which I do know better. But the thing is, it's like it's real, real, real tricky being a parent because you don't want to come off as a friend. However, you don't want your kids to be scared and afraid to tell you something that's going on. You don't want them to feel like they can't come to you when something's going wrong. I never felt like I could not come to my parents. So I'm glad again that I was blessed to have the parents that I had. So the thing is here is that sometimes you gotta take yourself out of your situation and look as an outsider. You have to see what you're doing is fucked up. You have to the same the same things are going to produce the same results. If you don't change, you're doomed to repeat the same thing you did last week. If there is no change, talking is talk. Talking is motherfucking talking. But doing is what's key. I don't listen to what somebody tell me. I used to. I go by your actions. Because your mouth could say anything. We could sit up here and say anything we want out of our mouth. But if your action does not back up what the fuck you're saying, it doesn't matter to me. I'm an action type of person. Show me instead of telling me. Because you can tell me anything, but show me instead of telling me. So that's just the situation. Like I said, I have to, we all have to be accountable for what we do. We all have to take responsibility. We should never put ourselves in a position to be away from our children, if possible, right? I try to walk a way that coincides with me being here for my children, right? I have a quick temper. I will tell a person that I have my top flips quick, right? But before I start making choices, I take a second to say, yeah, you is this going to end up is this going to have me ending up on the wrong side of things? Because again, I don't care how much my mom loves my kids. Nobody is going to take care of your kids the way you do. Nobody's going to treat your kids the way you do. So I don't put myself in a position to be away from to be away from my kids because I know there's no one that's going to take care of my kids the way that I do. And that's just facts. That's just facts. Like, I don't care how much my mom loves my kids. No one's going to take care of your kids the way you do. So I'm not going to put myself in a position to be taken away from my kids, especially if I can help it. If it's something that happens that's beyond my control, I can't control what I can't control. But what I can control, bitch, I control it. You know? And again, my mouth, my temper flips quick. I get that from my dad. He had that quick temper like that. But you gotta think. You gotta sit back and you have to think. And you have to not act on certain things. Some things are not to be addressed or whatever. I try not to. I sit back and say, if it's not going to affect me 3 years from now, I'm not going to fucking worry about it. If it's not something that's going to long term affect me or my children, then I'm not going to get in the mud with nobody, and I'm not going to do all that bull. I'm not. I'm just not doing it. I'm just not going to do it. It's like I don't know. Trust me. Nothing's perfect over here. Nobody's perfect. Everybody goes through trials. Everybody goes through errors. But when you start repeating the same shit, sometimes you have to take yourself out of the equation and look from another lens. You have to look from another view. And you also have to put yourself around people that hold you accountable, right? I don't have friends in my real life that are afraid to hold me accountable. I don't fuck with nobody that's afraid to hold my whole body to the fire, right? I don't fuck with people that can't stand up and say, yo, you were wrong for that. That wasn't cool. That shit wasn't cool. I don't surround myself with people that do not do that. I have a best friend. If I come to her with the bullshit, she's going to check me and say, "Oh, you mad? Okay, I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you later. Oh, you mad because I didn't say what you wanted me to say? Huh, bitch, I'll talk to you later. Tomorrow, next week, next month. I'm going to talk to you later. I'm going to talk to you later. She's going to tell me if I'm wrong. She doesn't care if I get mad. She doesn't care if I catch an attitude, if I don't speak to her for a month. She don't give a fuck. She's going to tell me the real. She's going to say, "You stupid bitch. You knew that was done before you did it." Right? Especially if it's something that's going to affect my children or anything of that nature. Right? I don't surround myself with people that can't elevate me and people that cannot tell me when I am fucking wrong. Right? I surround myself with people that are going to stop me in my tracks and say, "Yo, you want some bullshit. You want some bull." Right? Not somebody that's going to say, "Oh, yeah, yeah, girl, do that. Yeah, girl, do that. Yeah, girl, do this. Yeah, girl, yeah, do that." Like, I don't surround myself with folks like that, right? Because I need a level headed person to tell me sometimes, like, "Yo, calm the fuck down. Like, you were wrong, you went too far, or whatever the situation is." I surround myself with people that are going to hold me accountable, whether it's my friends or family members, right? Because I don't want to ever be in this position where I lose control of myself. Because a person that loses control of themselves is a dangerous person, right? A person with no self control is a dangerous person. And I don't want to ever be in a position where I lose control of myself and I'm not in control of my mindset and what I'm doing. And I want someone that I call a friend to reel me back and tell me, "Yo, like, you are bugging. You are tripping." And I would do the same for any of my friends. I don't have a friend that I can't tell, "Yo, you're bugging. You're bugging." And if she gets mad, then so be it. I'll talk to you tomorrow or whenever you feel like talking. Interest at heart is not going to tell you where you went wrong. People that really love you, really look out for you, if they really fuck with you on that level, they're going to just sit back and let you just make a fool and an ass out of yourself. Trust me, you know what they're doing? They're talking about you behind your back to someone. They're laughing at you. They're saying, "Yo, that bitch crashing out. You see that dumb bitch? You see what she did? You see she keep doing the same thing over and over." They are not your fucking friends. They are not somebody that you should hold near and dear, because a real friend is going to tell you the fucking real. Whether you want to hear it or not, they're going to tell you that you are being foolish. You are making a fool out of your fucking self. And they're going to tell you, they're going to tell you that. They're going to speak life into you. They're going to tell you that you need to change. You need to become something different. You don't need to keep repeating the same steps because you're not getting any results with the steps that you keep fucking. That's what I'm trying to say. I know that I'm not better than anyone, right? I know that I've made plenty of mistakes. But what I take away from mistakes that I make is I take away that I can't keep repeating the same shit if I want a different result, right? I can't keep doing the same shit expecting different results, because life does not work like that. Life does not work like that, and God is not the author of confusion, right? He is not the author of confusion, right? Right? He is not. In the midst of mess, he is not the confusion. You have to sometimes, you have to sometimes just revamp your whole life, right? You have to revamp your whole life. Sometimes you have to step away from things that bring you pleasure, right? So come back, regroup, and do something different. You can't continue to do the same shit, because sometimes you're going to, because one day you're going to get in so deep, right? You're going to get in so deep that you're not going to be able to get yourself out of the mess that you created, right? And number one thing is, no kids deserve that. Kids are to be taken care of. Kids are to be protected. Children are to be loved. My kids don't have everything they want, but they have everything they need, right? Because if I gotta fucking go without for one of my kids to get something that they need, then so be it. Because there's nothing more important to me than my children and my mom, right? There's nothing more important to me than my children, right? Because if my kids are not okay, then I am fucking not. So if I have to walk around looking a pickle, looking a hot mess for my kids to get what they need, not what they want. There's wants and there's needs. As long as they have everything that they need to survive, I am good. Wants, we can figure out the want later. But as long as my kids got everything they need to survive and become upstanding citizens, right? We're good. The wants can come later on. We can get what we want later. As long as we got the fundamental foundation of what the fuck we need, then we are fucking Gucci over here, right? We are Gucci over here as long as we got everything we need. So I would not do anything to jeopardize me being with my kids, right? Nothing, nothing at all is more important than them. Not definitely not. That's it. And that's just the fuck it, y'all. That's just it. And I'm just glad that I have the mom, because my mom is definitely here. I'm glad that I have the mom that I have, because she's going to rip me every time. Every time I do something stupid, she's going to rip me a new one every time. And she doesn't care if I don't like it. She doesn't care if it makes me upset. She doesn't care about none of that, right? She doesn't care about none of that.
Where's my books? Huh?
Hold on. She doesn't care about any of that, right? She doesn't care about any of that. So I'm not a fucking preacher. I don't claim to be none of that. Not a preacher, not a nothing. But I'm just a person that's been through some things, and I can relate to a lot of situations, and there's some situations I can't relate to. But I'm just a person that has been through a lot of stuff, and I can just give my life experiences. I can't, of course, speak for anyone else and what they would do or how they would react or how they would do something. I just can only speak from my inner self and my experience. Because at the end of the day, right, we have to just be accountable for ourselves, right? We just have to. And I don't want anybody around me that's not going to hold me to the highest standards, because that's how you grow. You grow from learning from your mistakes. You grow from not repeating the same patterns all the time. And if you're chilling, hanging out with somebody, and you call them a friend, when they do something lackluster, you should be able to pull them back and say, yo, you on the wrong side of shit, bitch. Regroup and come back to earth. Come back to where you're supposed to be, right? That's all that I'm saying. That's all that I'm saying. So it's like we all, I think most of the chat are females. You know, we're all women. Might have some, I don't know, support system. We need a village. They say kids need a village, but moms need a village too. Women need a village too. We need to be able to vent, to be able to cry, to be able to whatever, with a group of women that have our best interest at heart. Not someone that is going to repeat something behind your back that you told them. You need to make sure you have solid, solid people around you, because women need a village too, right? It is not easy to be a woman in this world. And it is 10 times harder to be a black woman in this world, right? Because everybody, what the hell outside? Everybody got a leg up on the black woman, right? Everybody. So we need to surround ourselves with people that are going to do good by us, people that are going to make sure that we're going down the proper avenues, so to speak, that we need to be going down, right? We don't want to surround ourselves with people that's gonna hype us up to do dumb shit, right? You don't want to surround yourself with someone that's going to hype you up to do something that could be detrimental to your health or your well being at some point, right? You want to surround yourself with people that are going to say, look, you need to get your life together. You need to get yourself together. You need to do what the fuck you're supposed to be doing at your big grown age. That's the people that should be around you. Those are the people that you should focus on surrounding yourself with. Anybody that's going to uphold your BS, anybody that's going to chant you on while you do stupid shit that could get you in a lot of trouble. It should be nobody that you want to be around, right? Why would I want to see my friend do something that may cause her to lose her kids, to lose her freedom, to lose her mind, to lose her self-worth, to lose her independence? I don't want to see any of my friends or family put in a situation that's going to cost them everything, right? Even though most times they should know better to be doing stuff like that, it's still my responsibility as a friend or a family member to let them know that they are heading on the wrong road. You can't make somebody change. You can't make somebody do the right thing. But why sit back and condone bullshit and condone nonsense and things that are not going to help these people in the end? So none of the hyping them up to do stupid shit is going to help them in the end. None of that is going to be effective in the end, right? Pastor, evangelist, none of that, right? What I am is someone who's been through enough in life to be able to tell my life experiences and things of that nature, right? So you guys don't, of course, you guys know that, but nobody wants to be surrounded by negativity all the time. We laugh, we joke, we have a good time, but nobody wants to be surrounded by chaos. Because I can't function in a chaotic lifestyle 24/7, right? I can't function like that, right? I have to have positive things going on to negate like some of the other stuff that goes on, right? I have to have some type of positive things going on, and I can't hang around people that always have negative situations going on. It's not good. It's not good for me, for my mental health. It's not good for none of that. So sometimes you gotta let people go. No matter if you love them, you have to love them from afar. Sometimes you have to let certain people and certain situations go to retain your peace of mind, right? Sometimes you have to let them go to retain your peace of mind. And that's all that I really wanted to say today is that accountability is key. Your word is your bond. Anything you say you're going to do, you should be able to stand on it, right? Because a lot of people out here got, and one thing I can say is that talking demonic and talking crazy, talking devilish, talking whatever is not going to put you in a position to be blessed by God. It just is not. You can't pray and worship the devil at the same time, right? You cannot pray and worship the devil at the same time, right? So nobody's perfect on this app. A lot of people have said things that they shouldn't say, but there are a lot of folks that just go too far, right? And you can't pray and worship the devil. You're going to have to pick a side. And if you don't, God's going to choose the side for you. God is going to choose the side for you if you don't pick a side, right? That's all that I'm trying to say. When you want something from God, when you desire something from God, you have to cut all of that other stuff out for real. You have to cut all that other stuff out because He's not going to bless mess. He's not going to keep helping you out of situations that you put yourself in, right? Just because you do something and pray to God, that doesn't mean it's going to be fixed the way you want it. Sometimes God fixes everything, right? But sometimes your way is not His way. What you want for yourself is not what He wants for you, right? So what you think is going to happen may not be what God wants to happen, right? Sometimes God has to sit you on the sidelines. Sometimes God has to sit you on the sidelines, right? So you can see what you are doing wrong, right? You can't use the same mouth to pray that you use to curse somebody, deceased family member, to curse somebody's kids, right? You can't use the same mouth that you're asking for a blessing for to say something demonic and crazy, right? Because shit don't work like that. God does not operate like that. He does not operate under confusion and chaos, right? He does not. So I don't want to see anybody down so far where they can't get up. Even if I don't mess with you like that, I don't want to see, especially, right? Especially a black woman, right? Right? I'm not a Black Panther or none of that other shit, but I don't want to see a Black mom going through stuff that they really don't have to go through, right? They really don't have to go through, right? You have to surround yourself with people, Brittany, that are going to hold you accountable, right? You have to stop repeating patterns that you are used to. You have to come up out of what you are going through, right? Surround yourself with people that mean you good, people that have your best interest. And you know what that looks like? People that mean you good, that looks like, hey girl, hey bitch, hey whatever. You need to stop what you're doing. You need to step out of yourself and take a look from the outside of what you are doing, right? That is what you need. You don't need people to hype you up to keep going because guess what's going to happen? Every person that hyped you up does not have to take accountability for your actions. So the hyping up and the laughing and the hee hee girl, aha, woo, woo thing, all that is not going to mean shit because you have to stand before an authority and give an account for yourself. You're the one that has to stand in front of someone to give an account for yourself, not anybody on here that hype you up because the truth of the matter is the only thing they're going to do is talk about you and say, oh yeah, she crazy. Oh girl, she should have known better. She done threw her whole life. She threw half her life away. That's all they're going to do. And guess what? They're going to be on to the next content creator that creates mess. That's just the bottom line. They're going to be on to the next content creator that is with the mess, right? And you are going to be left to deal with the chaotic, confusing situation that you let someone hype you up to do. That's the raw, that's the that's just of that shit. That's just, and I'm never going to let nobody hype me up to do something that I have to take accountability for at the end of the day, right? Because none of these people don't really give a fuck about you. Let's be real. None of them. Not even the ones that you think care, they don't. They don't care, right? Because if they're not telling you the real, they don't care. If they're sitting back laughing with you while you do that demonic shit, they don't give a fuck about you. Because let my mom ever know if I was on here talking about somebody's kids and talking crazy about somebody's deceased family member, my mom is going to rip me a new one, right? She's going to rip me a new one, right? She's not going to stand behind that bullshit, right? She's not. And anybody that loves you is going to tell you the real. Remember, do not listen to what people say. Watch what the fuck they do. Cause a motherfucker could sell a lot of game. I come from some place where people can talk and run game, right? Some people just got the gift the gab. Some people could sell water to a fucking well. But at the end of the day, they're not going to do any of that shit that they promised you, any of that stuff that they said they would do. They're just talking, they're just gaming you. So don't let somebody hype you out of your freedom and your independence. Don't let somebody trick you out of your shit, right? That's all that I really wanted to say, right? but I'm going to send love across the board, right? I'm going to send prayers for anyone in need because guess what? That's I don't care if I really don't fuck with somebody. I don't want to see nobody down to where they can't get up. I don't want to see no kids without parents, right? I don't want to see no mom without a daughter, right? So I'm going to throw a prayer out across the board. I'm going to send love across the board, right? Because that's just who the fuck I am. Now, I don't got to keep saying I'm real, oh, I'm a real bitch, because I already know that, right? So I don't have to keep saying that. So I am sending love and light to anybody going through any chaotic situation, anybody that is dealing with anything right now that feels like there is not an end to it, right? I'm sending prayers to anybody out here that is at the bottom and feels like they can't dig their way out. Because what I know to be true, is that God doesn't put anything on us that He doesn't think that we can get out of, right? It may not be the solution that you want, but God is going to place you right where He wants you to be. And sometimes you got to be placed somewhere that's uncomfortable to grow. Growth is very uncomfortable, right? Growth is very uncomfortable. So I am sending prayer, I'm sending love, I'm sending support, I'm sending everything, right? Because guess what, right? This is YouTube, this is entertainment. Brittany, you're going through something that's real life, right? And I don't care if you don't fuck with me, you don't whatever. I'm sending love because guess what? That's just who my parents raised me to be. That's the kind of parents that I have. And that's the kind of upbringing I had, right? Because I speak for others what I want for myself, right? I wouldn't want anyone to wish my kid to not have me around, right? I'm wishing and hoping that whatever happens is going to change your mindset, right? Whatever happens is going to change your mindset because you cannot keep repeating the same mistakes. You can't pray for something and then get out of the situation and go back to repeat it. My girl, you have to change your surroundings. You have to change the people that sit on the throne with you. A lot of people could sit at the table, but everybody not privileged to eat with you, right? A lot of people can sit at the table, but everyone should not have the privilege to eat with you, right? Right? That's what I'm saying today. I am praying for everyone in need of prayer. I am praying for everybody to grow, to make it, to succeed, to do everything that their heart desires. I am just praying for you all, right? Because I don't want to see a black woman lose her freedom. I don't want to see a child lose her mom because that's not who I am. That is not who I am, right? I am praying for anyone right now that feels like God has left them and abandoned them. When my mom called me today to tell me about her kidney disorder getting upgraded. I felt like, God, what is going on? What is going on? I said, why me? But you know what he said? Girl, who are you? Why not you? Why not you? Right? Why not you? Right? Brittany, I pray for you to come up out of this because this is entertainment, YouTube. This shit that goes on here is entertainment. What you are dealing with is your real life situation, right? You are dealing with something that is going to affect potentially your family, right? So I am sending hope, I am sending prayer. However, I am sending a back signal to you to change your surroundings. You gotta change the people that you sit on the throne with in order to grow and progress, in order to become a better you. I had to cut people off along the way that were not suitable for my needs. I had to cut people off that I loved along my journey because we were no longer on the same page. We no longer wanted the same things in life, right? Not that I didn't care about them anymore. It's just that their chapter in my book is closed. Sometimes you have to close a chapter in your book in order to keep pushing, right? Sometimes you have to close a chapter in your book in order to have closure, in order to rewrite your story. Sometimes things have to end for new things to become into fruition. Sometimes things have to end in order for new things to come into fruition. That is what I wanted to say today. That is basically right. Now, with growth comes disconnections, right? Right. So I I don't know what's gonna happen, right? I just hope and pray that you turn everything around for your child because your child didn't ask to be here and she's a very smart little girl. She can become anything she wants to be, right? But she has to get on the shoulders of someone that can lead her that way. You have a child that's watching everything you do, right? Someone that worships the ground you walk on as you do her, right? Don't, don't, don't fail your child. Don't fail your child, right? Don't fail your child. I hope and pray things work out for you. I hope and pray God turns everything around. However, I hope and pray you turn shit around too. I hope and pray you take the proper steps moving forward to become a better person, right? And that's no shade, that's um no hate, that's no whatever. I just hope that everything works out. I am praying. I love you guys. You know I get here and talk crazy. You know I like to have a little jokey joke. But I like to think my mom and dad did a pretty good job raising me, right? I like to think that that they did a pretty good job raising me, right? Of course, I don't have the answer to everything. It's a lot of shit that I'm still going through. But what I do know is that I'm not ever going to put myself in a position that I can't be with my kids, right? I can't put myself in that position, right? Riri says, I missed a part of this live. Quick question. Do you think she shouldn't face any repercussions for her actions? Okay, Riri. There has to be, with accountability comes some tough love, right? So if that is what should be, it will be. Whatever is for her is for her. However, I do believe that she doesn't have the right people around her. And I'm so sorry. It starts at home with your parents, right? The upbringing, the instilling, and everything starts with your parents. So sometimes if you're raised not to know better, and you're raised to think that everything you do is correct, sometimes you just think that that's just how life works. So I know that you have to pay the piper. I know that for things that you do, you have to be accountable for. So, answering that question, I do believe she should pay for anything that she's done, right? But on the flip side, I do want to see her come out of this a different person. So if that look, I don't know what that is. I'm not God. I'm not a judge. I don't know. But I just want to see her come out a different person, come out of this a different person. And I think it starts with your surrounding. It starts with people who are around you. It starts with people that enable you to do and be who you are. It just starts there. It just really starts there. But again, I'm gonna get up off of here in a minute. If we all can just pray for anyone, it doesn't have to be her specifically, because again, I I can't speak for anybody and I can't make anybody feel the way I feel. And I'm good with that, right? I am good with different opinions. I'm not the person, oh, you got to agree with me. Never, right? So I just want to take a moment to just pray for you all. I'm going to pray for your health, going to pray for your peace of mind, because guess what? Peace of mind is everything, right? Peace of mind is everything. Peace of mind is everything in this world, right? There's nothing that's going to jeopardize my peace of mind. Nothing, right? So I I don't know. Maybe it's just that, let me think. Let me think how to say this. I'm not a malicious person. I'm not a person that's malicious. I could flip the top quick, right? But in my heart of hearts, I'm not a malicious person, right? I'm not programmed to do malicious shit, and I'm not wired that way. So I guess the human in me still feels sympathetic, right? The human in me still feels sympathetic for a black woman, for a mom, for a daughter. The human in me still feels a little sad for her, right? However, I do know that you have to take accountability for your actions, and sometimes that is uncomfortable, and sometimes that comes with something you may not want to do. So my only hope is that she changes her ways and she surrounds herself with people that are going to uplift and people that are going to hold her accountable for her actions. And that's just basically about it. So I definitely do thank you guys for hanging out with me. But I have to go feed my kids because they greedy and they're looking for food. They got the big butts like the mama. So I do thank you for hanging out with me for what, a little bit over an hour. I'm glad you all stopped by. And again, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a preacher, teacher, none of that shit. Just somebody that wanted to say what was on my heart, right? Just wanted to say something that was on my heart today. So I wish everybody a good night. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for being here for me. I'm praying for you guys. I love you guys. And yeah, that's about it. So everybody have a good night. Everybody have a good night. And yeah, just wishing the best for everybody, right? Good night, guys. See you in another live on somebody else's platform.